So hello everybody, this is Shivam back again with a new video on a video series of CSI and NetJR for Sciences. So in this video series I am going to discuss about some questions from geology, oceanography as well as climatology. Okay, so these questions are basically asked by one of my batchmate, you can say, yeah. Her name is Monika Singh, and I thought why not to share all these questions to everybody. So let's begin the video. And before that, this is my channel. Over here you will get lots of video regarding CSI, GATE, NET, GRF, everything, even GSI, JAM. Okay, so please check this out. Okay, so let's begin with the question. So the question is basically from 2016. Density of quartz magnetite rock with 30% of magnetite is around. We have to find density. Okay, so let's see how to solve it. There are four options over here, A, B, C, D. So let's write what is given first. Okay, so for this question you should know what is the density of quartz. So quartz density is basically 2.6 g per cc, and then magnetite density is 5.15 g per cc. Okay, in quartz magnetite rock, rock, so in the question it is given 30%, or 30% of magnetite is there, right? Magnetite means, it means simply if there is a 30% magnetite means 70% is quartz, right? 70% is quartz. So we can say that density by formula is equal to magnetite density into concentration of magnetite, right, plus quartz density into its concentration. Okay, so now everything we have density, we have concentration, 30% for magnetite and 70% for this one. So just write it down. So 30% can be written as like this, 0.3, 30 by 100, it becomes 0.3, 5.15, this is the density, plus here it becomes 0.7 into 2.6. Now when you solve it you will get 3.3 gram per cc. 3.3 gram is your B. So the correct answer is P. It's easy, right? Isn't it? Easy. So now let's solve some questions from climatology. Okay, so this question is again from 2013 paper. Okay, now let's choose a different color. Let's go for this one. Okay, so question is how much sensible heat is needed to warm 2 kg of dry air by 5 degrees C. Okay, so let's write what is given first and then we'll see the formula to solve this. Okay, so now let's change again the color. Okay, answer. So given is m air, mass of air is how much? 2 kg. It is given. Delta T is 5 degrees Celsius. It is given. Now this CPD, okay, this CPD for dry air, okay, CPD for dry air, okay, CP is basically, it's a specific heat at constant pressure. Okay, for this the value is 1004.67 joule per kg per Kelvin. Okay, per Kelvin. So this CPD depends upon material being heated. It's a specific heat at a constant pressure. Okay, for dry air we use this CPD. Okay, is this clear? For moist air the things are different, since it is asking about dry air in the question. So this is the value. Now you need the formula to find sensible heat. So the formula for sensible heat is basically, it is denoted by delta QH. This is the sensible heat, which is equal to mass of air into CPD. CPD is what? Specific heat at constant pressure. Okay, at constant pressure. This is for dry air, that's why D into delta T. This is the formula where delta QH is sensible heat. So all we need is this formula. M air is mass of air, and obviously here it's a dry air, mass of air. CPD is specific heat at a constant pressure for dry. Okay, specific heat at constant pressure for dry. This is for dry. And delta T, this is temperature, right? This is nothing but temperature change. Delta means temperature change. Okay, so now just put the formulas. Okay, इसको formula देखते हैं. Let's see. So this delta QH is equal to M air into CPD into delta T. When you put all the values, 2 kgs, CPD is already given value, it's a constant value. So, and delta T is how much? 5 degrees Celsius. See here, it's a 5 degrees Celsius. So 5 degrees Celsius. When you solve it, you will get 10,046 kilojoule. So that's it. Is this clear? This is clear, right? So this is delta QH. This is the amount of sensible heat needed to warm 2 kgs of air at 5 degrees Celsius. This much. Okay, now let's see what a sensible heat means, what a latent heat means. Sensible heat, which is measured by a thermometer. It's a heat which you can feel. That is a sensible. That makes sense, right? Latent heat is something which you can't sense, which you can't measure using thermometer. This is the difference between a sensible heat and latent heat. Latent heat is basically used to change the phase of a material or a water. Okay, so water के case में it's a latent heat. If you are changing the phase of a matter, okay, so that is a latent heat. And sensible heat, which increase the temperature of the body. Okay, so is this clear to you? Right now there is a similar numerical, again it is asked some 3 years back. Okay, so let's solve other question. Here we have different formula actually. So find the specific heat at constant pressure for humid air holding 10 gram of water vapor per kg of dry air. Okay, is this clear? So over here we have different options, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the options are like this, like this, 25 into 6, then 1100, and then 1300.5. Okay, now let's solve this. So first let's write given values. So here we have R. Okay, answer R is given. Okay, so R is how much? 10 gram vapor. 10 gram vapor. It is in per kg of dry air. That means it is in 1000 grams of dry air, right? So that simply means 0.01 gram per gram. We can write like this. Okay, we have to find specific heat, which is denoted by Cp. This is the notation for specific heat, and specific heat is basically joule per kg per Kelvin. Okay, per Kelvin. So it's the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of your body by 1 degree Celsius for or 1 degree Kelvin for 1 kg of this thing, material or water. Okay, whatever. So now the formula for this is Cp is equal to Cpd into 1 plus 1.84 into R, this one. Okay, here R is, this is basically mixing ratio. Okay, this R is your mixing ratio, and Cpd already discussed in the last question. Okay, this is already cleared, right? So now let's solve. Okay, so Cp is equal to Cpd, which is 1004. It is discussed in last question. It's here. Dekho. See, this is your Cpd over here. Remember, specific heat at a constant pressure, and it is equal to 1004.67. Okay, so we'll use this value 100.67 and multiply with 1 plus 1.84 is already given, and mixing ratio according to this question is 0.01. See, it is over here. Okay, is this clear? Now when you solve it, you will get 1002.5 joule per kg per Kelvin. So let's see which one of the correct. So first option is correct over here, that is 10022.5. so this is the formula, this you should know. Okay, this is easy. Both questions are similar type. See, point to be noted over here is कि ये specific heat, mixing ratio, then we have this specific Stokes drag law, terminal velocity, all these things are very important. तो एक हम लोग टर्मिनल वेलोसिटी पे भी करके देख लेते हैं, लेट्स सी. ओके, और स्टॉक्स ड्रैग लॉ पर भी एक करेंगे. देन so now the question is, okay, so this question, so again from CSIR C section, actually C section question. Okay, let's change the color. I'm done with this color. Okay, so the question is from what updraft wind is needed to keep a typical cloud droplet from having R is equal to 10 micrometer. This is the radius of that droplet from falling. Now for this you need a concept. Okay, so देखो, suppose this is a droplet. Okay, now in the downward side there is a gravity. and this one side we have drag. Okay, two forces are there. In the upward direction there is a drag, and downward gravity acts. Now gravity is what? G is equal to gm by r square. We know that. Again here we don't know the mass, so we can write G is equal to G r square, and here it's what? 4 by 3 pi r cube, 4 by 3 pi r cube into rho. We can write mass is equal to how much? Mass is how much? Mass is basically density into volume. Mass is equal to density into volume. So volume is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Yani this radius is same for upward drag and downward drag both. This radius is same. Okay, radius is same, it is not changing. But what about this volume? Volume will change, right? If there is more drag, then the droplet becomes flattened, right? And if less drag, then it will be there in the spherical shape only. So we can say that gravity over here is a function of r cube, because mass is a function of density into volume. Density is fixed, volume may change, and volume में भी क्या change होगा? Radius, right? In the upward side we have drag, and drag depends upon the surface area, and area में we always have r square. So we can say that this gravity for a fast moving body or having a more radius, for a bigger water droplet, gravity will be more than the drag. Okay, so there is more terminal velocity. Is this clear or not? Terminal velocity is what? Basically, suppose any object is falling down. So there is a point when this gravity is equal to the drag. Then there is no further acceleration. Then it will fall down with certain velocity, and that velocity is called terminal velocity. Okay, so this is whole concept behind it. Okay, now let's solve it. Hope you understand. Okay, after all, this is numerical, it's not a theoretical question. Okay, so what updraft wind is needed to keep a typical cloud droplet R is equal to 10 micrometer from falling? Okay, now it's very easy. It's very easy. R is given, that is 10 micrometer. It's a radius of water droplet. We have to find WT. So we have to find an updraft wind, that is a drag, updraft drag. In the upward direction we have drag, right? So WT is basically an upward drag that is over here. We are considering it as a terminal velocity because it also has some role in increasing or decreasing terminal velocity. Okay, WT is your terminal velocity. We don't know, we have to find this. It is in meter per second. Okay, so this W up, yani this upward velocity, is basically minus WT. We can write downward terminal velocity is say positive, and it is moving in the upward direction, so that means upward is negative. Okay, so we can write W up is equal to minus WT. Now let's see the formula. So this WT is equal to minus K1 into R square, where K1 is a constant value having 1.19 into 10 to the power 8 per meter per second, or we can write simply meter inverse second inverse. It is much better. Okay, it's a value, just write it down. Negative sign indicates droplet is falling down. Okay, so just write the formula. So K1 is already given, 1.19 into 10 to the power 8 into R is how much? 10. So 10 into 10 yani 100. Okay, 100 we can write, and this 10 is what? This 10 is in micrometer, and since here we can see that this is in meter, so we have to convert this micrometer into meter. सो फर्स्ट व्हाट वी कैन डू इज ऐसे कर सकते हैं, we can write 10 into 10 to the power minus 6 for converting micrometer into meter, and since this is r square, so square of everything. When you solve this, you will get 0 point minus 0.012 meter per second. Okay, is this clear to you? So this is in meter per second. So this is the updraft velocity which is needed, because देखो Wt is equal to Wup. Okay, so since it is in negative, so Wup becomes positive, right? Wup is equal to 0.012. This is Wt and both are equal. It is equal to minus sign, so minus minus become plus, and that's the reason why here it's positive. Okay, so you need all these things. So the required updraft velocity is positive, okay, and the value is 0.012 meter per second, which is very gentle movement of air. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Okay, any doubt? If you have any doubt, please do comment, okay, in comment section. Over there I will solve your problems. So I think that's it for the today. Okay, I will solve some few